you're anything like me, you love the musical Hamilton. And if you're a music nerd like me, you love the rhythmic patterns and the genius of the rhyme schemes. And I want to share with you two different excerpts from the show that use what is commonly thought of as a really complex rhythm, and it's a tricky rhythm to read, especially if you're early on in your musical study or you've never been exposed to this many symbols on the page for counting rhythms. So I'm going to help you count 16th note triplets in this video, and we'll use two different excerpts from two different tracks of the show. And I think afterwards you'll be able to hear, and you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to perform these rhythms with a lot less stress, and hopefully you'll be able to do that immediately. So I'm going to help you train up your musical instincts. 16th note triplets. Let me give you background. First, to count any rhythm well, you have to feel the big beat, or the macro beat, or the pulse. And I always tell my students that you should use a big part of your body to feel the big beat. You can tap your foot, you can move an arm, your head, even your whole torso. And if you're not shy, you can dance really badly, really awkwardly like this. Okay, so that's enough dancing. If you're still with me and haven't clicked away, once you get the main beat, you can divide it into 2 parts, or 3 parts, or 4 parts, however many parts you need. So first let's divide it into 2 parts and work our way up to the 16th note triplets, which look like that. Here we go. Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. So you've put the beat into 2 parts. Well, that's not enough. We need to put the beat into 4 parts. Oh boy. Here I go. Ba 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 ba. 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 Try with me. I'll try. And then you can echo. Ready? Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. The fancy rhythm language that I use was developed by Dr. Edwin Gordon and some other people that worked with him. He's the main name, I guess, that gets credited. Isn't that always the way? And the fancy way to count it is do to date to do. Do to date to do. Do to date to do. Or you might have heard 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2. Or you might have heard 2E, 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 2E. Whatever system of counting you want to use, that's fine. I'm just going to use do to date to do. Do to date to do to help you feel 4 parts in the beat. Okay? But even that's not quite enough yet to count a 16th note triplet, because this one is going to have 6 parts in the beat. You're like, how complex is this? Well, I think once you do a little bit more patterns, you'll be okay. First we get the sound, and then worry about what it looks like, and then worry about what you want to say with your voice. Okay? Get the sound of it. Okay? Let me now demonstrate the lyrics, because that's probably what you're most familiar with. Okay? Not throwing away, not throwing away, not throwing away. Or, if you've heard the opening of the show, I forget what key it's in, but it's like, okay, etc., etc. When they walk out on stage, and then the lights come up, and then, okay, that's the rhythm we're going to do. And it goes on and on and on. Okay? Bum, da 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 da, da 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 da. Well, we have 2 main parts of the beat. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. So we already worked on do day do, do day do. Here is the picture, in case you're curious. Da 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 da, ba da da da, and I wrote etc. Da 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 da. To know that there are 4 parts in the beat, I think will help you to count this rhythm. Let me walk you through it. This is do day, which we already did. usually you're going to see a 4 on bottom. Usually a quarter note will get 1 beat, especially in the early stages of music study. Okay? If you divide the beat into 4 parts, you're going to have 2 little beams across. So, bum, da 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 da, boom, doo doo doo. This is when like the fake string instruments come in, doo 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 doo. But this is the triplet. This is the tricky bit that if you're not familiar with it, it looks really scary, and you think, how could I ever learn that? Especially if you're sight reading and you haven't practiced the piece, how could I ever do that correctly? Well, once you memorize that this picture sounds like this, dum da 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 dum, not throwing away, dum da 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 dum. Then once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that's just bum da 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 dum 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 da 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 da. So that's the opening. Go listen to the opening track, or maybe it's in this key. I don't know what key it's in. But listen to it and just think to yourself, bum da 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 dum, bum da 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 dum. Move a big part of your body, bum da 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 dum, with the main pulse. Move a little part of your body, your tongue, your fingers, whatever, with the quick part of the pulse, bum da 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 dum, bum da 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 dum, like that. And then once you have the feeling of it and the sound of it, then you can see it. It's like, oh, I know that rhythm, easy. The other one, which I already alluded to, is not throwing away. Not throwing away. I am not throwing away my shot. Okay, first, you get the main beat, the macro beat in your body. Not throwing away, not throwing away, not throwing away. Bum, dee, dum. There's still 2 big parts of the beat. Not throwing away, not throwing away, not throwing away. And the first part of the beat, not, has just 1 sound. The second part of the beat has 3. Throw in a, throw in a, throw in a. So you want to think in your mind, when I hear this, bum, da 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 dum, I'm looking for something that has 2 parts. And the second part has 3 little parts. Maybe that works for you. Maybe the picture works for you. Dum, da 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 dum, dum, da 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 dum. Listen, not throwing away. Look, not throwing away. Listen, not throwing away. Look, not throwing away. Okay, listen more. And then when you look, it's going to be easy to read the rhythm. Not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away. And it goes on and on and on. This symbol, if you don't know about ties in rhythm, let me know in the comments, and I can make a video specifically about ties. That just means you hold the note a little bit extra. This symbol is a rest, which just means you're quiet. If you're not familiar with that, I can do more tutorials about rests. I've just been going based off some of the catchy tracks that I think are cool, and some of the rhythms which sometimes students find tricky to learn. Okay, so usually in music you're going to see a 4 on bottom. Usually, especially in the early years of study, you're going to see the quarter note getting 1 count. And if that's the case, then not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away. That's what the rhythm will look like. Okay, so go listen to that song, Not Throwing Away, and just move with that macro beat. And when you can do that, start to think dum da 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 dum, dum da 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 dum. 2 little parts. Second one has 3. Dum diddly dum, dum diddly dum, dum diddly dum. And you can imagine this picture, or you can draw it, or if you have the score, you can look at it. Let me know if this video was helpful to you. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you can be notified when the next of my Hamilton tutorials comes online. Thanks for watching.